up, y'all, and welcome to this episode of Ask Us Anything, Say this episode, that's right, of Spring Fever. Hey, that's right. The show where you ask us anything or say something funny, meaning our supporters will have a chance to ask us anything or give their best one-liner. You can send in questions, that's right, up to the plate, up and jokes to you can send jokes to us via super chats, channel memberships, or Patreon support, though every subscriber and viewer is welcome to join in on the fun, including creationists. Come on, come on. So won't you join James W. and myself, Amy Newman, for a good time? We're getting your spring fever on. Ho, 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 ho.
You know, I bet our viewers, our loyal subscribers, thought this was a joke, right? Like they're not going to go one.
Yes, this is actually not a live. It's a premiere of our April 1st podcast. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to our Ask Me Anything or Say Something Funny, the daytime edition. That's right, Gizmo. Where we are we're getting questions and saying things funny, hopefully, out here on the interwebs. Like, what's up, Rubiks?
Yeah, 1 p.m., not 1 a.m. Yeah. That's more likely.
Exactly. I can't technically go out there because the light makes my skin burn. And so I just have to...
Slicey.
Slicey dicey. Yes, thank you so very much up, Slicey. In fact,
we're not competing with Kimball this time. We're on our own, so we don't have to compete with him.
We have our own soundboard team behind stage working tirelessly. Though I would like to do prank shows to scammers, so that's kind of like a coming together of all the disciplines. And Mark is like, I das protest. This is too late. In fact, welcome everybody. If you're out there on the inner tubes.
2 in the morning in Australia.
Yeah, you're just assuming Australia exists. But don't forget to like if you're out there on the YouTubes. It helps it go into the algorithm, and we hope to reach wider audiences of young Earth creationists. Please, Jesus, send us your young Earth creationists. Also, you have a home here at the Skeptic and Ranting community because you don't need to have someone watching you 24/7, 365 to go to a place where everyone judges each other's clothing once a week. But we can replace that with even better things like movies.
Otherwise known as middle school.
Yes. Or church. Either one.
Church, yeah.
But yes.
I mean, their science is about the same level, middle school and church. Well, some middle school teachers might disagree with that. But
I was going to say, we probably get a lot taught in our middle school science classes. It's just that, yeah. Oh my gosh, you're teaching evolution. Why, yes, this is a biology course. You're teaching about the Big Bang. Well, Yeah, this is the physics course. We teach
But look at this
cosmology.
biology course. They're starting with life. They're not asking where did life come from.
Which is really a why within a why within a why. Because they will say, well, where did we come from? And the obvious answer is always, it's the same joke over and over and over again, because it's true. Our parents, you know,
Ask Bill Clinton. He'll tell you about it.
what does the word is mean? No, it's generally speaking sex. Sex is where we come from, and then they will go ultimately.
What? Whales have sex too, Amy. Don't forget about the whales. The whales, they have lots of sex in the water. What happens, Amy, is the boy whale, his thing comes out, and he finds the girl whale, and he swims up next to her, and you know the rest, Amy.
But why would you have a girl whale? Do something
the whales are almost 1,000 pounds of weight. Those are some big balls, Amy.
Some big balls. Yes, it also takes big balls not to pay your taxes. What are we talking about? Anyway.
Imagine those balls on your chin.
Can't we all? You know who will be? Khalil. Khalil will be imagining many. What I also I have noticed this, and I've noticed a string of like, you know, I don't want to say. How should I put this gently? I've noticed videos. I'm not going to add any attachment word to that. I've noticed a bunch of videos come out. Tried to block the cough. I could not, ladies and gentlemen. But 12 years for yes, and as we say, they are no longer going to be making Chuck E.A. cheese, which is terrible. I mean, I don't know what happened. You're gonna have a ball pit and everything. Wait, no, I'm being told that's just Khalil in prison.
Ball pit. Oh.
Yeah, the ball pit. What?
Yeah, 12 years is actually the minimum that he'll get. I mean, he probably will get let out in 12 years, but
and Chris,
if they feel like he's not rehabilitated, they could keep him for up to 16 years.
I'm sending you love and welcome, everyone. I hope everybody feels loved here. But James and I, it is like we have been doing Khalil no longer allowed near the property of anything that plays a DDR machine jokes, like for a while now, like for years, a year or more.
School bus stop.
Yeah, no longer why he has to, now sign a registry. Will once he gets out.
Yeah, every 90 days.
Yes. Though, we've seen I saw this with Bill Cosby, with, I think it was Ellen DeGeneres. There's multiple people where, like, at least I could tell the comedian circuit, they were on top of that shit since the beginning. Same thing with, like, I think Epstein jokes. And so, let me tell you, if it's come, I guess I'm trying to say, if it's come out of the comedian's mouth, and now all the other channels are doing it.
On top of that,
I'm trying to remember where they're Kevin Spacey jokes.
Harvey Weinstein.
What I will say is, though, that the comedian circuit, we're often early to the game. Not just saying us, but I know us in this scenario, that James and I were no. He was doing good things 5 times a day. 5 times a day. Though I guess once again it happens to, Catholic priests. So
I don't know about
there's lots of religious.
Morena, I don't know that most of the Christians came out against Smokey Saint. I think a lot of them Actually, a lot of the ones they kind of covered for him and went along with his assertions that it wasn't him.
Well, they've done what I would call retconning. Good old thing in the Marvel DC universe.
As soon as it came out,
gone.
He basically came out and said, "Oh no, it's not me," and I'll be able to show that definitively. It's not me. I'm talking to an attorney. We're going to be. People don't take this content down. We'll be suing them for defamation.
I get what you're saying, at least that hopefully now they are not. So my suggestion would be to all the Muslims is that if you think that this is defamation for his religion, like of all the things, he freely debates his he had lots of time to freely debate his religion out there. You can hear the construction. We're getting a new HVAC machine. I will say that. I'll give apologies to everybody. But it's going to be exciting soon. But, like, that is always the first line of either crocodile tears or, like, yeah. The reason that I get those type of charges is because, James, you just don't. They won't let me wear a hijab. Wait, Khalil was a man? Damn it. Well, they wouldn't let someone close to him wear a hijab. How about that? No, it's probably just he was raping, his stepchildren. Do.
And I mean,
crazy.
Was this guy like delusional? What did he think? He was going to be having sex with multiple stepkids and just none of them would ever say anything. His wife would never find out, and he would just be able to do this indefinitely.
That was before he converted. Well, I'll remind you, Chris, that he was we're all reverts to Islam, aren't we? If you think about it. Yeah. So, but
Chris, don't worry. I'm sure he'll be telling that to the parole board.
Exactly.
In 12 years, look. Back then, I was a degenerate atheist. Exactly. I didn't believe I was accountable to anybody. I thought if you want to do it, why not do it? I now, as a Muslim man, I would never even think of doing something like that. I would never emulate my own prophet.
I knew I was ruining children's lives before, but I didn't know that someone was watching me 24/7, 365. Right. And so I would like to amend my life. Just 1 second. It works, right?
I mean, I get on my knees 5 times a day, and
maybe he won't pay for therapy, but he'll help them get prayer rugs. It'll be all right, everyone. Once again, laugh or cry. Welcome to Ask Us Anything or Say Something Funny. The word I was looking for that I didn't want to use earlier in my head was celebratory, because you don't want to celebrate in such a horrible event. The reason I use that is because these people try to use religion, like Smokey is another one of those, just the absolute narcissism, the absolute weaponization of those things, like the projection that he would call. This is why he would go after people. I hate always to be including this person attached to them, but he went after another atheist YouTube creator, and this YouTuber had a daughter, a little bit personal, and said horrible things, the worst crimes possible about them, and surprise, they now need to go check in.
But they said it as they were like joking about it. I mean, I don't know. Joking about somebody abusing their child when you have no reason to think that they are. It's
Is pretty
kind of below the belt, kind of.
Oh, well, not only is it below the belt, but I mean, it's purposefully below the belt. What he said about this person, not only did he attack the child in question, but he said about the father, the types of crimes that, well, they ended up going into court for. It's like science, James. They had to be peer reviewed by a jury of their peers. Very similar.
Well, I mean, just think about this Khalil guy, and they all kind of do it, but they'll make videos, they'll make comments about how, listen, Amy, they have actual objective morality.
That's right.
We lack that. We don't have that.
James, how can we even criticize them?
So they are morally superior to us, and they'll say, it doesn't mean I'm a better person than you. I've done bad things too, but I at least have a moral foundation for my beliefs. So when I go out and do something horrible, I know that God is going to be mad at me. And I take that responsibility seriously.
That's right. And they're like for realsies sorry to the real person they hurt, God. And so really sorry right there in the heart.
Was it back in a lot of the English judges, like back in the 1800s, back when you could get the death penalty for stealing almost anything, and they would, or transported to Australia for 14 years and then they would be like, everything on the world belongs to God. So when you steal anything, you're stealing
from God. There you go. The worst crime possible. So take your loaf of bread and shove it off whatever is going to feed your family, because you're not anymore.
You mean it was negative 10 degrees outside and you didn't have a coat, so you stole one? Well, that's pretty much like the worst thing in the world.
I just want to and it's a correlation causation, family.
Don't.
And I feel bad we're even picking on them. But here, I just want to put it in context, because they're being framed of all the things of all the crimes.
But don't defame his ex-wife like that if you don't have any evidence of that.
But I just
the guy he pled guilty. Okay.
Oh yeah, the judge did not buy that, and his plea deal. I have to say, if you do. As someone who has taken plea deals themselves, don't take them unless you actually think. So, first of all, I think that I've got this from other comedians, but, jail time, when you pay your time, that is recognition that not only you did it, but then at the end of your sentence that we should let it go. That we should let, not the crime's terrible, but whatever we give to how long. I think he should have gotten more than 10 to 12 years. Holy shit. But that's another sentence. I'm just trying to
Ohio has really crazy, quirky laws.
When you admit guilt, when you take that plea deal, you are saying, I did it.
And that's
it's much harder. I mean,
even probably maybe worse than all that is just the stigma of being a sex offender. So if you really didn't do it, would you really take that stigma, that burden on yourself?
And that's what I mean.
I couldn't, yeah.
Let me just put an asterisk. You can never, 10, 20, you can never, those kids are going to be up forever. So I hope they get good therapy. I don't know I shouldn't say God help them. Please, someone, I hope they get good, fulfilling, successful lives. But I'm just talking about felons of much lower crimes, because our system sucks. I'm going to put Khalil over here for a second. I feel like if you put someone in jail for stealing and they do the crime, and they admit they did the crime and they pay the time, then you should just let it. You need to eventually let it get purged out of the system. His is not. His is a moral crime. Not only did he hurt someone, not only when you hurt a child, and it's so funny that we too, exactly, that once again, we shouldn't be the ones having to say this, but children imprint on their parents. They take everything that we say, basically speaking, as law. And so, a teenage stage, a rebellious stage, is oftentimes when they test those laws. They oftentimes shake those off. And then sometimes you come back to I am more my mom and my dad now than I probably ever was. And now I view that as a good thing. But you generally, that could also breed cults. It could have a cult mentality in the household because you are speaking from fiat. You are saying, why do something? Because I told you. And until 18, that is generally accepted. And so I don't think it's a good reason. You should explain things to your kids. But so to come full circle, so when you hurt them this early on, it does damage. And so let me tell you, if a psychologist talked to the children, and I can't, revenge, she convinced her children that they were, I'm just saying. Oh, what I wanted to ask, and I'll ask this for anyone trying to defend Khalil, and then we'll move on. We'll talk about him later if it gets brought up, but we've got 12 years to talk about him. But I just want to know, not only is Khalil being framed here, of course, but of all the religions, could have picked any religion, really any of them. The religion.com, it's just so wide, and yet Islam. Can we just put this over here for like 1 second? A prophet had many wives, actually, like a multitude of wives. I was reading in recently, there's an argument over whether his 10th wife was truly his property or not, or whether she was kind of a fighter for the origin eventually herself. And yet who was his favorite wife? And I know Muslims are tired of hearing of this. You probably should become atheists, is what I meant to say. But like, of all the religions Khalil chose the one religion where the prophet's favorite wife, well, they still had to measure her like at the ride to see if she could go on the roller coaster. That's a problem. That's like a really big problem. Her doll, they had to take that aside. They didn't want that to fall off the roller coaster. Kind of like a little weird. I guess my question is, were they framing Muhammad too? Is this like a deep state thing? Is it and not only, is it like a New World Order thing? Is it like thousands of years Illuminati thing? James, they're framing all the good ones. All the good ones.
All the good ones.
You just can't be a prophet anymore. It's hard.
There's just no profit in it.
No prophets and prophets anymore. Anyway, we're going to keep on sending love. We're like, follow, and subscribe if you're out there. That's right. Follow if you're on Twitch, twitch.tv. Amy Newman Skeptic. I have to be slightly not loud because speaking, I do have her, and she is sleeping right there. Oh my goodness, this podcast. Oh, and she went like that. Oh, she got a stretch by the time I get there. I'll miss the stretch. Oh, she did a good stretch. And then I have...
Poor thing looks exhausted.
Yes. Oh, well, that's because 23 hours of the day... I'm sorry, 22 hours of the day she's running around, and then she eats, and then she passes out. And then I also have him who'll just... Oh, no. Go right back to bed. You're doing good. If you ever wonder why this random chair, it's lovely. It's here for you. It's okay. You're doing good. Go back to sleep. Cats. But yes, I'm sending love. You can like, follow, and subscribe. Yes, that's right. That subscribe button right down there. When you hit it, you become part of the cool club. I can't think of cool kids clubs now without thinking of Will.
But spelled with all K's instead of C's.
Oh, we love you, TOS. I don't know what you're talking about. Sending so much love also to everyone out there. This is a live show. We'll keep on saying hi to everyone. Like we said hi. We'll keep on saying hi to Chris, Tsunami, and Slicey Slicer, and Carol K, and Jason Jacoby. Woo! And Lori Hayes, and Mark Reid. Yeah, definitely not alleged. We are past that point. Like, it would have to be... We're going past that. Udif! Sending so much love, and Claude really is, though. Religion does kind of poison everything. What's up, Rubiks? They say they aren't using domains or anything. It would be hilarious for it to reroute it to nasa.gov. Yeah, I wish it'd be funny if flatearth.com went to nasa.gov. Flat earthers. That's another problem that we've been dealing with, is that the flat and young earth community, people that care a little bit too weirdly about the age and the shape of the earth. Which is...
people who don't know anything about almost anything, literally.
What is up, Khaleesi? Who does know lots of things about lots of things. And yes, basically these people get degrees from University of Basement. And they, the doctor.
Well,
tell me the news.
I know we mentioned it last week, but the lady that MC Toon was interviewing, the flat earther, who said that she knew more than Einstein.
Holy shit. Yeah. What I liked about that, because it's easy, I've seen a lot of people type that in chat when they are debating as flat earthers. It's another thing to really just put your face out there and really say you
give your email address
are
to people.
smarter than Einstein. Oh, okay.
I mean that interaction just like encapsulates a lot of the dynamic with these flirts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
we're being told by Sod that we almost had to bring the stream down. All right. It's a rubric says, oh, and I think I have a few of them I have to bring up. Frito-Lay's owns the Flat Earth domain. Really? See, that is funny. There was also some sort of... not a super sticker, a super something that I was supposed to show. I'll find it eventually. Someone was aha! It's a Rubiks, a member for 3 months. Woohoo! Thank you so much. Rubiks says, what do you call two ducks? A paradox. Woohoo! And that's right. With that, we are starting off asking us anything or saying something funny. We'll do all of our vocal shout outs and all of that funny nana as we go through on. But if you have something funny to tell us or say, tag us at James W. or Amy Newman, or send in your super chats, or just tag us if you're a channel member, a Patreon, a Twitch. We're sending love. But if you're a subscriber, a viewer, someone that's trying to defend, anyone out there, James. Ted Haggard's completely heterosexual.
Yeah, totally. Super straight.
I know, you don't. The whole passing around and protecting pedos, it is not a good reputation.
I think, Kent's buddy, Chris Jones, I think he's in jail again. I don't know if it was because of the allegations of what happened on that property or something else he did. Who knows?
Kent Hoven has done legal things before once or twice.
Did you hear, Amy, like this creepy this thing, like Kent Hoven, he wants to buy a fire truck for an old fire truck for Dinosaur Adventureland. Who the fuck? Why would you want to buy a fire truck? I don't know why anyone. Why does he like hate the government that much? He doesn't want to have to call the fire department if there's a fire there. He wants his volunteers to be able to put the fire out there themselves. I mean,
he wants to put out that many fires. I would too.
Maybe he wants to compete with the fire department.
Yeah.
Anyway, but apparently he saw in a lot, like an older fire truck parked in a lot, and he started going around to houses like near it, trying to figure out who owned the fire truck. And there's one lady house he went to, she got kind of pissed at him. She's like, "Oh, that skeevy Dino man is lurking around town again," and like I think Kent went in the yard and like up to one of her daughters and was like, "Oh, you should come out to Dinosaur Adventureland. I'll have a great time."
He's invited me twice. I think the only way I would go down there is if I am wired or with a camera crew. Something has to be recorded.
And then they said, no, it's not our fire truck. Go away. Basically, get out of here. And then he came back like 15 or 20 minutes later, and she said like he came back and like one of the people working for him like went around to the side of the house to look in windows. I don't know. Weird interaction. But he is not liked by people in that community. Like they don't even like that he's there.
Oh yeah, he's a pariah.
Bible Belt, so odds are 95% of them would call themselves Christian, but they don't like him.
So sending love to off the chain atheist. A friend once accused me of being a skeptic. I told him to prove it. He asked me if I had any evidence to support his claim. But also just sending. I think that's from a copy pasted. Someone asked how you get a font in chat. That'd be my guess. Maybe. Here's my Morena. I agree with you. I used to make that super straight joke, or I had something extremely similar. I used to say that I am so straight that I'm sorry. I am so gay that I've transcended gayness. I'm so straight I've transcended straightness. There we go. Both of them, one of them. I'm bi, so it works either way. But I came back around. Exactly. That, by the way, I like to joke with James. That was a phase, an actual phase. That stuff doesn't seem to. The joke has outlasted the super straight debates.
Yeah, the super straight movement. Off the chain atheist, I would just say that there's lots of room in the atheist community for people, for different channels to come up. I don't even know if you need to have a specific angle. Just be yourself. Put out content that really speaks to what you're passionate about, what your beliefs are, and there should be room for you.
I like to think we do have an angle, and that is we do comedy. Basically, we make jokes, and we're the banting, we're oftentimes the late night, which isn't for this, but we tend to be the PG-13 to our type of, even if we like to think of ourselves as wholesome, but this is the amount of cats who can't be wholesome with that amount. But everyone does need a shtick, though. I will say, as he's now Captain America, as Falcon once said. Everyone needs a shtick. Everyone's got a thing, and so finding out what your 1, 2, 3 things are will improve for a channel, because that tends to focus you. And people always want to do the general everything channel. And I will just tell you that if you ever have that impulse, don't do it. Don't do it. Because what you think that I want to do everything and then everyone will come to me. But what people actually want is something really specific because they want you to be the best at it. This is Gizmo. This is producing Vice I learned from Gizmo. And so you should have your 1, 2, or 3 shticks. So we're skeptics. That's a shtick. We do comedy. That's another shtick. And we have lots of cats and dogs. So there we go.
Well, the way I've always thought that we fit into the atheist community, and is there are plenty of channels out there in the atheist side of YouTube who are run by people who are experts in the field, people who have doctorate degrees, master's degrees in scientific fields that put out lots of great content on their area of expertise. Who is I think there's a Dr. Thompson, Chris Thompson, who I just saw one of his videos the other day. He debated Kent like a few months back. He put a video out, Amy. I showed Amy the video about the woman coming from a rib. But yeah, we'll never be able to put out content like on those specific topics as well as the experts in those fields. But that's not what we're trying to do. We don't try to. You're not going to out Gutsy Gibbon in terms of primatology. You'll never.
Example.
We'll never know as much as she does about that topic. We'll never be able to present it as concisely and as good as she does. But what I think we can do is we can talk to a lot of the other people who, like us, who are also not experts in the field, and we can try to make some of the expert content maybe a little more digestible for people who are not experts in the field, and give you an impression of how you can adjudicate some of these theist creationist claims when they come at you with the science, well, their version of the science, and you might not know what they're talking about. How can you understand what they're trying to say to you? How can you get around it? How can you not be phased when they come at you with the codons and the bullshit, when you might not even know anything about codons? You might not know anything about it. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to, because chances are they don't either.
Oh, I'm ready to form blocks of 3 chains. We got this. But I agree. I view this channel. Oh my god, I want to get the big stretches. I may be obsessed with my babies.
I thought you were pointing down there, so we could say.
Oh, that's something different.
The Easter Vigil.
Yeah, Gavin.
She is risen.
Gavin and Iron are both trying to make the ham ready for later, if you get what I mean. But I view this channel as, just like you were saying, 2 things. We take a lot of the subjects that the creationists talk about, and then a lot of the science that scientists are talking about, and hopefully we're able to convey it in lay people's terms. Normal, I hate to say your average Joe. But yes. And so sending love to all of our subscribers and viewers out there. Sending love to Fostro. I see you out there. Much love to Amy and James. And Mark Reid reminding us that congrats, Nitty, on 300. That right. You should all be checking out Nitty. That's Nitty. I learned that last night. Right down there. The tagline, because I knew who Nitty was. But you should all be going down to his channel so we can help him get monetized, baby. Get him up to his 1,000. And sending continued love. That's right, my owners, very specifically, the kids, which I believe are the only other organism allowed on the spaceship with the Jewish space lasers. It's a brand name, by the way. You know, other organisms sell space lasers, but Jewish space lasers, James, they are the best. As we are asking us anything or say something funny, we'll start doing some shout outs, all the people that we love. There are many ways that you can give us love. All of this nonsense and shenanigans is sponsored by viewers like you and my cat wanting to get out, but he can't because the people are making the air conditioning and vacuuming. Not vacuuming. Heating. It's like a vacuum. I know. But don't you want to sit instead? She's doing it. Look how cute and adorable she is. I'm going to keep on showing her. Oh, my goodness. He's adorable, too, but he's trying to get out. He's like, I've had enough of this. And they're like, eh. And also, I love how continual cats can't have thoughts, James. Other animals can't have thoughts. I don't know what he's doing when he scratches to go, trying. Who could know? It's a mystery. One will never solve as we continue to go on to sending love to all of our channel members, Patreons, at patreon.com/ABNewman, where Gilbert Godfrey is sharing hell with us. I'm also sending love out to davegar, reminding us that the world is not only round, but, we call it old Earth, but it's not actually old because 4.5 billion is actually just a drop in the bucket as opposed to the Google time years.
About a quarter of the age of the universe. Decent amount of time.
Oh, it's a quarter of the age of the universe. But once again, that's only 13.8 billion.
Considering the
that's what I mean.
How long the universe will be existing. Yeah.
Yes.
We haven't even gotten to the point where one red dwarf has exhausted all its fuel yet. There hasn't even been one because it would take like trillions of years.
I think a car is very angry outside. Don't mind that. But yes, that's basically what I'm saying, is that it's going to be going on forever. And so I just like to think of ours as the accurate model, and there's the made up one. It's like a very subtle difference. But also sending love to Senator Cato, reminding us of the separation of church and state. Thank you so very much, Senator Cato, because they've moved. It's like Hunter Predator. Dent, 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 dent. Nope, door's still closed. He's so used to it because he does that, and I come and I open it, and then he comes out and he'll actually do it again when he wants to get in. He's got a good system. La da, as well as sending love out to the one and only Rachel Holen, reminding us that the Bible does the bad slavery and the BDSM community does the good kind. Really, the only good kind is the one with pink fuzzy cuffs, because if you are taking people against their will, you are a douchebag. Though if you're tying them up after they've already consented, I hope you have a good weekend. Sending so much love. You're still not getting out. Let me help you with that. You, that black cat. Oh, but you're so cute. Let's say hi. Yes, hello. Yes, hello. Okay. I'll make a deal with you. What a deal. Cat TV. Cat TV. Okay. Huh? He's making decisions, ladies and gentlemen. I think he's about to choose none. You're going to choose the chair that's right in front. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is now Cat TV. I want to thank you all for joining us on Asking Us Anything or saying something funny. We're watching high on-demand content. I would steal the pig chair, but he actually prefers that. I think it's comfier. And so it's going to stay there until he jumps back on it. Buttercup is back up. Once again, this is like ESPN, but with cats. Thus, possibly making the one thing that lesbians could all agree on. Anything. Right back to sending love to wonderful, fantastic. We're sending love to Chris Disciple. Chris reminds us.
Thanks, Chris.
I love you, Moonlight. I'm sending. You're going to get it. I believe you. Chris is reminding us that atheist, theist, doesn't matter what you are. Christian, even Muslims out there, sending love to you out there. If you're skeptical about your belief systems, then you are part of the skeptic and ranting community. Baby boy. You're not. He doesn't like being held either. It's gonna last for about 3 seconds, but here we go. No. Oh, now he's fall. Okay, there you go. That lasted. He becomes what I call lava. I can hold him for a good minute sometimes. The other one's Buttercup. She can fall asleep in my arms. And so is Penelope. Penelope, she likes being held to a degree. Sending love to Cooper. I try to hold Cooper, but much harder. Sending love to Chris, like I said, the skeptic and ranting community. Sending love to Dale Pastel. Reminding us, thank you so very much, Dale. Reminding us that we're just looking for a little bit of empirical evidence. Not a lot, but just a little bit. You know who? They found a lot of empirical evidence for a specific... I don't want to keep on bringing that up, even though we do have a few years on our hands. Oh, man. But the amount of shady-ass shit that just all of these religious, like... The men of God, like Joseph Smith, arguably knew he was full of shit. But another one who, Mormons of all the people, nice people, have met many Mormons, although they're not so nice when they are disfranchising you and kicking you out. But my goodness, to think that such a con man and have reverence for him. Whew. I know. Let me keep on showing her. Very sweepy. Very sweepy. Once again, this is our close-up for Cat Cam. What she's about. Okie dokie. And keep on tagging us. This is our love letter, mostly to our Patreons, our super chatters, and to all of the people who give us support out there. I'll send out, while I'm doing this, Patreon with our lovely supporters out there. You can support us at patreon.com/Amy Newman. It's up on there and in chat. While we're doing this, we are trying to get to 200. I'll show everybody our thingamadigger. Excuse me, Buttercup. I'm just going to click buttons there. So you can see here, we are so very close to getting 200. And, oh, as you can see here, and I say that, and then you can't see it. Ha ha! Ha ha ha! And so we actually have
getting closer.
Exactly. Actually have a bunch of supporters. I really could not thank all of you all for all the love and support and everything that you do. And she's getting comfy again. This is a little pillow. Oh. But we have so many, and we're this close. 200 was our first benchmark that we were trying to hit. If I gamify everything in life, why not? And so we will have a new benchmark then, but we're going to do a celebration and a big thing.
A goalpost shift.
Yes, a goalpost shift, exactly. And so sending love to everybody and to all of you at patreon.com/Amy Newman. And
oh, come on, Chris. Put a sock in it, man.
Now I'm tempted. What are they saying? No offense, but you need to be more sincere. Sincere about
all the things
what?
To say.
I will say it all. We were just shilling, if you will say. That is shilling for the billin'. But like of all the things that we have been accused of, I love you. But this is just me. The only thing that's different, because I've asked my partner before, I'm like, is there anything about me that's different from here and like off screen? And she says nothing except for the announcer voice. She says I have like a welcome. And then like I go out there and I'm apparently like, hi, or something. Oh my God, or whatever the transition is. But besides that, I like to think I'm exactly the same. That is the benefit of being politically incorrect. You're used to religious, conservative fundamentalists who just scream kind of like this. And I'll tell you what, I am politically incorrect. You're used to like that angle with that over there, but I am just that. But we're telling you,
gay.
They're telling us that they're turning frogs gay. But what's secretly on my mind is I'm always frustrated. I'm like a frustrated type of kindness. I want everybody to just work together. I'm sorry for the screeching scratching. Come on, baby. If I could let you out, I could. But the nice, I know. But the nice gentlemen, I know, but they're making, here, food. He's saying he lives such a terrible, terrible life.
Oh, all his complaints.
All his complaints.
Yeah. List his grievances.
Here. Oh. Look at this. Oh, now she's up. I get it. There you go. Now she wants one. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cat TV.
What are you giving them?
Treats. And then I use my nail and I break up a treat for her. Oh my goodness. Are we good? Good. I've lost both my chairs, but I'm glad that you're all good now. Oh, I said so. Welcome everyone to Asking Us Anything or Saying Something Funny. We're gonna get back into it. I'm sending so much love to you all. We always looking for pushback. I mean, she compared Islam to 9/11. That hounds. No, I said that 9/11 was done for religious reasons. And that is a good reason to be an anti-theist.
Okay. Let me explain this dichotomy right here. Not every Muslim is a supporter of 9/11, but everybody who took part in 9/11 was a Muslim.
Yes.
See the difference there?
And I keep on saying this. If there is a pretty lady that is wearing a hijab and she gives me consent, I'll go to town down there. Like, I don't really care. And I guess
what about a man wearing a turban?
Or a man wearing a yarmulke, or a man wearing a turban. I don't really care about that stuff because we're atheists. Like, we all just view you as having a fan club. Like, that is the best way to say it. Like, you are in the we really love Muhammad fan club. And yet, there's nothing different about you, Chris. We are brothers and sisters.
Like,
and so I always find
a Comic-Con dressed up in Star Trek.
They claim that they are Muslim, but they were not using religion to their own advantage.
They were. That's what we call
no true Muslim.
Call that a no true Scotsman fallacy.
Yeah. That's right. I would actually say there are proper times to wear turbans. In fact, if it is hot out, there's practicality. It's almost wearing a hijab. What I don't like is when they wear it in reverence of a god. Like, if you are in the desert, you should be probably wearing sunscreen, among other things, and listening to clothing recommendations. It actually will cool yourself down. Woohoo, Carol, anti-theist, atheist. And look, I will say, James and I do represent the anti-theist atheists. You don't have to be an anti-theist to be an atheist.
There's atheists who aren't.
Exactly. And just because we are anti-theists doesn't mean that, like, I would say break beer with you guys, but break soda. Like, Where is he? Sin Islam, say not Muslim, and many Muslims rebuke them. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that they said they were doing it for their Muslim brothers and sisters. Like, it's not a thing that you need to find forgiveness for. Like, maybe you could work to go be better in your community, and you could try and make better interfaith dialogue while you're doing so. But we're atheists. Again, it is not about trying to put the finger at you. It's trying to say this is what happens when people become fundamentalists of religions.
I mean, would a Christian not say, oh, well, the people that did the Crusades, they weren't really Christians because Christians wouldn't do that. No, they were Christians. They just subscribed to...
There are many Christians that'll say that, though.
An ideology that was popular at the time and that they thought was consistent with their faith.
For whatever reason, Pookykins, I changed the word denomination to detonator. I think just a Freudian slip there in my own way. True Muslims are the best detonators. I mean, denomination, they are the gatekeepers. I know. Listen. To be honest with you, religion to us is just a superstition. And so the only time you can figure out what the title of the episode by figuring out what version of theist we piss off. Because, like, when we do an episode about Christianity, I had Bubblegum Gun, who isn't even a Christian, sit there and try and tell us that we are an anti-Christian channel. That is very specifically what our focus on is, that and I said, no, we're generally, I would say we're anti-woo-woo, anti-superstition. Anti-superstition. Little baby boy, sit on this chair. I'm giving him the good one, too. Do you see how much better I just feel and look and this? Look how much I'm a proper human being right now sitting in this chair. I need your butt in this chair. One of these chairs. Anyway, religion. Yeah, can I tell you? And that's the funny thing. I'll give you my comment on this because I caught myself doing something and I said no. I actually deleted my comment because there was a whole bunch of Muslim comments. And there was even one that said from a atheist. I won't say that, but there was an atheist that was basically like, oh, next time you were straw manning them. And I'm like, well, what was the straw man? And even though I still don't see what the straw man was, I felt like it was weird to start fighting them in the comment section. Am I crazy to stop wanting to do that?
Yes.
I mean, we are a debate channel, right?
Sometimes it's not always the most productive use of your time, but that would be the only.
Well, I figured it was just a bunch of Muslims got drawn in by the SEO tags. Because that video with me and EF Dawa seemed to upset a lot of Muslims. And yet, I thought it was fairly civil and fairly a good back and forth. They always like to try. I was almost going to let him out. And then I'm like, no, I can't let him out. They always try and have some angle where they want to feel like a teacher at the end, where they give you books. It's like they try and give you homework assignments. Like, oh, come back. You read this, and then you'll be much more educated on why Osama bin Laden, when he actually very much specifically said that he was doing the 9/11 hijacking in revenge of his Muslim brothers and sisters. They're like, well, it's politics. I'm like, well, first of all, you guys say religion and politics is intrinsically connected. And he said it was because of religion. So
they
it's
overlap.
not me you have to convince. It's the dead guy.
The question is would bin Laden have had the political opinions he had if he were an atheist? And I think the clear answer to that is no.
And Chris, what do you mean I didn't seem civil? I thought I was highly civil, especially talking about 9/11.
Now, if by civil you mean she's making points, good points that they don't really have much to refute, and that's not civil because you're challenging them, well, I mean, it is what it is.
As in, maybe it's rude sometimes to bring that up. I wouldn't bring that up if you were having dinner with me.
I think were they the ones talking about that subject, 9/11?
Well, I said I have no good reason to believe in a God. And somehow what they did, and I'll try and be careful of this, what I realized at the end is they did, I don't want to say Dark Dawkins me a little, but were able to make it so only I answered questions and they were the ones asking. And so I feel like
they're the teacher, you're the student. They tricked you into that mode.
And so it makes it so you can't. I really wanted to know what good evidence do they have for a God, and we end up talking about why should people be religious or not religious. I could talk about both, but it is them trying to set the goals a little bit differently, so to speak. Oh my God, baby boy. We have to stay in here. You're not dying. Where's Buttercup? Look, she's back up there. She's asleep. Come on. Nope. You know what? I'm going to let you have that option. You can figure that out. Oh, my. Well, this one gets up. And yeah, I agree. I respect no faiths. It's not about disrespecting. I dislike them all equally. Like, it's not that I think that Christianity is less silly or more silly. I implore implore atheists to read at least 1 to 2, 3, a good half dozen if you wish. Read some chapters of the Quran. You don't have to read the whole Quran. Because mostly the conversation goes, well, have you even read any of the Quran? And most Western people say, well, no, I haven't even read a drop of it. All you need to do...
you need to have read it? No, but...
it's just like when you want to criticize the Bible. I agree. You don't need to. But if you even just read a drop of it, they're first of all stunned. Second of all, I've had very few Muslims who actually want to go into the nitty gritty. And so that is their bait. If you want to have an immunity, because I've basically had people who have said, go read the Quran. And I go, fantastic. Let's talk about the ant. And they go, what's the ant? And I go, well, it's an entire chapter in the Quran. And they go, well, I haven't read the Quran. And you go, why did you tell me to read the Quran, though? And like, because you're judging me. Boy, I tell you what. Holy shit. But I'm so in love. Because really, even though I get frustrated and I really just want people to think critically, I do it myself. Did you ever call in? Oh, I absolutely did. Welcome back, April Cox. So I knew Justin for 2 months as us both being atheist content creators. And then he was a friend of one of my brother from another mother's, our brother from another's. I always feel bad just naming names now because we have to tie them to him. Just it's almost like a fucking cancer, but tied to Oz. I hate to give names, but I want to give respect to Oz at the same time. You guys should all be checking out Tang Gang. I think the flavor, whatever's going on, you should be connecting atheists. We got lovely Jenna and Shane the Skeptic, all fantastic, amazing people. But through Oz, I had like residual pain from like him converting into Islam because it feels like they're going into a cult. They are cults as far as I can tell. And so when you have someone who is doing the Unlord's work and then it turns out that they are brought over by Kalam, like this entire everything that begins to exist nonsense, absolute nonsense. And he never talked about Kalam because he got so overwhelmed with the atheists wanting to challenge him on it. And then they do these, the love bombs where not only do they do these love bombs where he has like these weird cultural switch where you could tell that like the born Muslims like are wearing like Nike, like their beards are all like nicely kept. They just look like guys you would see at a 7-Eleven or at the mall. And then he looks like he is trying to be an extra in an Arabian film. I find that always funny and like a hallmark of cult mentality when you change your everything. Now, I'm sure, once again, there are people out there that they look at me and they go, well, you changed your everything and you changed your, blah, blah, blah. But no, I was always LGBTQ. And it's not a cult. There's no leader. No one forced me to become bisexual or trans. That was just who I am. We finally had representation. And no, Oz is not a Muslim. Oz is an atheist. But I learned about Khalil through him because they were friends. They were metaphorical brothers. I'm also eating those there. I'm gonna drink this chocolate milk. Oh my gosh. The Cottonmouth. Okay. But those noises are good, ladies and gentlemen. That means we're probably going to have heating and air soon. Haven't had it for weeks. Hasn't been terrible weather, though. We've lucked out really well. Meow. There you go. I know. Grumpy old man. She just wants to play. Oh, they're so cute. She's going after the thing on the floor. She's got a toy as I show off everything that matters. Where are we going? Is for Christian, honestly, is for Christian. Well, Oz isn't a Christian. I don't think that the flavor is, unless he converted. I don't think so. I think it's just a new name. Be interesting. I can't imagine him being Christian because he does not believe that Jesus existed. Oz. Yeah, I think he changed I know he changed the channel name, but I don't think that he changed theologically. Deceptive use of language. Yeah. But
a former Christian.
A former Christian.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Rebranded channel. And then, so what happened was he converted. He went from Kalam very quickly into, this is what they do. Subcaptive desk is that when you're getting into Islam, they play this elimination game. Okay, so what they do is they got to get you to deism, and that's Kalam. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. That is bullshit. I have my own.
Jason said it.
Literally no way.
Oz converted to Christianity, evidence of body snatchers. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be. That's true. But then he not only became a deist in this scenario, so they get you there from the Kalam, but they then say, well, let's look at Christianity. And they do this purposely. They say, let's start there, and let's talk about how silly the Trinity is. And, a lot of sound effects today. I'm so sorry, audience. I'm sending love to you. And so they go after and they say, well, the Trinity's bullshit. Why would a God have a son? That's also kind of a silly concept. I mean, it's all a Trinity. I mean, if you're just going along with made-up fan fiction, it's not like any of it's more silly or less silly. So it's like, I can see the rationality here in a fictional fantasy sense, but they're all silly. I don't know how Muhammad got air while he was cutting. You know what kills me about this is why you all need to read the Quran, because it kills me on the inside, is that the cutting of the moon is a single line. It's like the first line of the chapter. Can you guess what the chapter's called, James?
The moon.
Boom. And so just go and read the chapter The Moon. But the only part that is the moon is the first sentence, where it's like Muhammad totally actually 100% really, really super duper cut the moon. And then the next sentence is like, and no one believed him. Not a goddamn person believed him. And so they made fun of Muhammad. And Muhammad was like, well, you know what? You're all going to burn. You just wait. No one believed him even then. This is what I mean, James. Like, even when they're performing the miracles, how shitty of a miracle does it have to be for most of existence at the time to still not believe you? It's like the Moses and the calf thing all over again.
From a literary standpoint, I mean, it's like them facing adversity. Like, it's like, they were doubted? Like, how could anyone have doubted Muhammad?
Now you're talking mythic structure and you're talking literal. When we talk about mythic structure, a literal sacrifice or a metaphorical sacrifice has to happen 2/3 of the way through a story. You need to have your darkest moment, and then you need to be rebirthed so you could get into the final act. Like, that I 100% believe. If you mean literally physics, we killed a guy and then we brought him back to life. No, bad. And so that's what all of these religions do, is like they take mythic structure, which is we've been using for thousands of years, and we will be continually using for thousands of years. And then they're like, no, it's real. It's totally real. And it's like, no, it's probably not. And by making it real, you're missing like the entire story. Because it's
all real.
It's all real. I knew it. Because like you listen to like rabbis, or even like if you take a cherishable version of what Dr. Josh is saying, and like, you know, when we're trying to cleanse away the old and we're trying to bring in the usher of the new laws and all of this stuff, that's understandable. But when you are the 6,000-year-old Bible thumping and you're like, no, all those motherfuckers died. They died, and it was a good thing. I liked it. God liked it. You're like, okay, buddy. Anyway,
I would just say, if you're an atheist and you've been,
and I'll be right back.
For
actually,
any length of time, you're an atheist content creator. Because it's like us. If you're a content creator and you're putting yourself out there, you're making content, you're telling other people what you think, you're kind of a small influencer. But if you've been that for any length of time and you are just blown away, you are just shook to your core with an argument like Kalam, like which they can basically sum up, say, why is there something rather than nothing? And you're like, I just never thought of that before. Oh my gosh, why is there something that never crossed my mind before? Yeah. If that's you, probably haven't been about much of anything really. But I mean, this is something that all of us who are into, we've had to read that hurdle, and we've had to jump over. We wouldn't be atheist if we had gotten over that bit of ignorance, the fact that we don't know. If we want to cling to that, well, there's something we don't know, so therefore that's a reason to cling to religion. I mean, okay, you're welcome to do it, but those of us who are atheists, we've gotten past that objection. We've moved on. But just the idea that type of argument would
okay, I ran back, and he's back.
the StreamYard's having some issues, but
Woo-hoo.
I was saying, yeah, they got me. If you're an atheist content creator, you've been making content, and then you're you get converted by the Kalam. I mean, that's basic, like mid-low tier theist argumentation. It's not anything that we've that any of us have ever had difficulty with. And I think that's why Amy, like right after he converted, she really just wanted to talk to him, try to talk sense into him. I think was the goal. But this is a guy. He was friends with Oz offline in real life for a while, and Oz is somebody who is more than capable of explaining to him why all this stuff is nonsense. The fact that he never reached out to Oz, that he never, brought him into the fold. He just went on these stream after stream after streams talking with these fundamentalist Muslims, and eventually that became his circle of friends. That became people that he liked, and there's nothing wrong with that. But after a while, you start to seek validation from them, because it's like these guys, they're interested in you. They love talking to you. They really like you as a person, and they would like one thing more than anything in the world. They would like one thing, and it's all they would ever want is if you just convert to Islam. And so he got sucked into that. But not because of the strength of the argumentation or the logic or the reason, just I think more from emotional reasons than anything else. Anyway. So what I'm probably going to be putting up a post in the community section. What I want to look at for next time we do an AMA is I want to try and figure out the 12 dumbest arguments and things that people say in defense of religion. The 12 dumbest claims or arguments that have been made for religion. I'll try and rank them next time. I think that would be fun. I mean, I've got like a list of 12, but I want to see what you guys think. Maybe you guys have thought of some better ones than I have. Well, no, Tim, there are dozens of them, but I'm trying to come up with the worst 12, like the dirty dozen, the 12 worst ones that we hear. Metaphysics, well, still that would be under the arguments from ignorance category. Because then I do want to do another video series where we look at the fallacies of religion. We examine the most common logical fallacies that people use to advocate for religion.
I want to do a different podcast called the phallics of religion, where we just get religious imams, we get priests, pastors, rabbis, and we just go to town right on their backsides. It's a slightly different podcast. Exactly. Very much risen. I've lost both of my chairs, but I have definitely risen.
Well, you got your knees. I mean,
that's right.
You're at home down there.
Indeed, I am. And so, sending love to everyone out there. We are asking us anything or saying something funny. If you will send in a super chat, we'll thank you for the support by reading it up there. Or if you are a channel member or a Patreon or a Twitch subscriber, we will send you love and send those one-liners in as well. And yeah, sending love also. So we keep on going down the list. To James Wolfe. Thank you so very much, James. We actually can see daytime today. It's a little scary, but Hopefully none of our skin will melt off. Thank you so very much, James. And sending love to... there was a new sending love to Keegan. Thank you so very much, Keegan, for becoming a Patreon supporter. Boo, 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 boo. We are going to slowly get up there. Slowly but surely. So thank you so very much. And thank you to Ian Davenport, reminding us that watchmaker arguments suck. That, our heart is naturally forming. That, once again, we come from our parents, and you don't grow hats on hat trees. You don't grow creative things. It's this kind of separation that we have. And sending love, thank you, Ian, to Regos. We have a Skeptic Bible study. Joshua used to be young. We're in the chat here, Joshua. He used to be a young guy. I remember he is down there. So you should go check out our Skeptic Bible study before Joshua dies too, apparently. Whew. Let me tell you something, James. Don't be a chosen
this
person.
Is like a religion of death. What is this? These people like worship death.
Really are. And the guy killing everybody. But sending love, Regos, and sending love, last but not least. Last but not least, sending love to Matt Deig, reminding us that we have theories, and they have guy at the end of a sports bar. Once again, I love wings. Who doesn't? But you should probably be getting your science from scientists. It tends to be.
Well, that's an argument from authority. Just because I read physics on my phone sitting at the bar, does that mean that I don't know as much as a physicist?
James, that is ridiculous. These people have all PhDs from University of Basement. I don't know what you're talking about. They have spent not only 2, not only 4, but maybe 3. Maybe we went back 1. Maybe they've spent 3 days.
3 days reading up on a topic.
On it, exactly. Oh my!
I kind of feel like I know it all, right?
Exactly, and that's really what matters. If you feel like you know it all, unlike our theories, which are actual frameworks of facts. So thank you so very much to Matt Deig and to all of our Patreons at again. Patreon.com/Amy Newman.
I know just enough biology to know that all the entire field and all the people in it are dumb. And they don't know what they're talking about.
All of them.
Yeah.
They're on a massive conspiracy. You know what the funny thing is? I always ask, all right, fine. You guys are looking for science, right? It's not real science. None of these subjects, whatever they don't like, it's not real science. Vaccines, evolution, Big Bang. I'm like, whoa, okay, round Earth. What will you accept? What journals will you accept? And I'm like, will you accept Nature? And all of a sudden, I start putting out big name journals. Are you going to be, are you going to be submitting it for, so that Berkeley students are going to be able to go and investigate? They're like, well, those institutions, they're actually out to get us. They're part of the problem, James. They don't even want us in there. Okay. So now it's more than, just your lack of wanting to go out there. They're stopping you.
It's like the debate that with PhD Tony and Witsit Gets It a couple weeks back where, and this is what they do, right? They challenge a scientific field, then they challenge another one, and PhD Tony said it's like imagine you go to a party and you meet somebody there, and he says, I'm the best MMA fighter in the world. I can beat anybody. And you're like, oh well, okay. I mean, what fights have you been in? What I have never been in an MMA fight. They will not let me compete because it's a risk to the other fighters. They know that they can't handle me. Okay. Yep. Actually, also the world's fastest sprinter. I can run circles around Usain Bolt. He is nothing compared to me. And, well, what races have you won? That's the thing. They don't let me race because I will make everybody else look bad. So they refuse to allow me to compete. Okay. When I'm not doing that, I'm also the best fighter jet pilot in the world. How many dogfights have you ever been in? I've never been in any. The Air Force will not allow me near one of their planes because they're afraid that me being so good will cause a international incident. I'll start a war because I'm just that good. Okay. I'm the world's best competitive eater. I can eat 57 hot dogs in under 5 minutes. Well, can we see the video?
You and me both.
Yeah. No, actually, they don't let me do it because they think it's because it's politically incorrect. Some about the LGBT community, they will not let me compete at competitive eating. And it's like eventually you're like, okay, maybe you're just talking out of your ass. Maybe you're not really the best at everything in the world. And that's the thing, is very rarely do you get people who are like the best at multiple things, because being the best at something takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of work, time, studying, and just the way these people treat these fields, like you can literally become an expert in them between doing Uber Eats deliveries.
And it's much easier to reject all current modern medicine and empirical science, and much harder to give an alternative. Like, they have nothing to give us when we say, well, how did animals form? God spoke it. You're like, okay, God spoke it. What does that mean? Trying to wrangle myself off to my third chair. Because if you ask them, all right, my favorite question for them is, how'd you make a goat? Quite simply, it could be really any organism, but here's a goat. In evolution, we can explain to you the linear chain by which all the common ancestry gets you to a goat. How do you do this with a creationist model? And I'm using that word very, very lightly, like lightly than no seasoned fries.
You very quickly will come to the conclusion that they actually really don't give a shit. They don't care. No. Because they will demand, they will take the evolutionary explanation, they will put that under the microscope, they will question it, poke it, prod it, turn it up every which way. They want everything explained to them. And not only that, they want to see it happen in real time. They want to sit there and watch a non-goat become a goat in the time that it would take them to watch a TikTok video. But this whole Genesis creation story, they'll just accept that on faith alone. They don't need to know any of the details. They don't care. It's irrelevant. They don't give a fuck how God did it. The fact that he just said, okay, he did it. Boom. There you go.
Poof. It's the poof model. Ooh. Also send love out there. Everyone's still staying with us. I see Tim, I see Stilette and Nathiest and Krish still having fun out there. Guys, please stop mocking Khalil. Why? We got 12 years to. He can address it afterwards.
Once again, he's the one who put himself on this pedestal. He is the one who made himself a public figure. I mean, nobody told him to do that.
But, like, I hope you really do think it's not true, because there's, like, bullying Khalil, and then there's, like, his kids are scarred forever. Whew. I really do. I feel bad for Khalil. I'll buy him ice cream after the 12 years are done. He'll be okay. And which is, like, as James was saying, depending on the state, he is so lucky for just that.
Oh yeah, he would have got life down here. He would have got life.
I'm old enough now where I know that 10 years is nothing. Like, it's a lot. Like, if I were to steal bread and they were like 10 years, I'd be like, well, okay, I think. And the system is pretty fucked up in multiple ways, but I don't know. Must have been a
You can't have guys out there
deal,
blanking multiple of their stepkids. Okay, we just can't be having that. That's beyond the pale.
It feels like he got off a little bit easy. If what he said was true, 10 years just feels like. But even then, I don't know what's the other side. I guess the other side, they're coming for the. There is a good religious bloc in prison. I'll say that. He'll have. You guys aren't sincere. No, we're See, once again, you know what isn't sincere? The people that would try to walk around this to try and save religious clout. Like, we're not blaming Islam for what he did. I think it's a little creepy that he picked the one religion where, like, once again, causation, correlation, not 100%. Well, okay. Hear me out even further, okay? What religion did Khalil come from? Does anyone want to take a guess of all the Christian religions? It could have been any of them. Do any of you want to take which a guess he came from? Okay. It is the one you're thinking of. I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with the Mathlik Minstitution. Does that sound? So let me just paint you a picture. Someone who came out of the Catholic institution and then, I don't know, gains access to. But once again, I don't want to blame because came from that, and then we find out goes into the Muslim religion, and then at the end of all that says that the reason that they're going after him for child crimes is because they're after his, I don't know, his religious freedom. What's the...
Which is the same thing Kent says, that they put him in prison. It wasn't for the structuring or failing to withhold FICA taxes that he was charged with. It wasn't that. It's because they wanted to stop him from making his DVDs and his and preaching the young Earth truth. That's why. Structure.
Trying to hold him down.
They wouldn't have cared about any of that. They were really trying to stop him from preaching Christianity.
What's up, the Caribbean Skeptic Secularist? Do we say hey? I think Yudif's been here for a while, but I have not. If not, but I'm saying what is up, Yudif? It's just it is very hard to feel sympathetic. Like, we're not trying to put him in jail because of his, like, so many, like, a giant majority, unfortunately, of this country is religious. I want them to have their religious freedom, but, like, to think that and the judge probably was religious, and the vast majority of the jury was probably religious. And it's like, yeah, I don't think it's, I think it's a him. I think it's a him thing, James. What's up, Randolph? Hello, hello, hello. You should all be checking out the Randolph Richardson and Taco fantastically hosted streams. The Theist Helpline. We're trying to help theists. I feel like I was extra spicy on the last one because I had to, what was I going to the bowling event, right? I had to bowl on that Sunday. So I had to leave at 12:30 to get there by 1. But I felt like I was being really spicy on that day because everything was compacted. So sending love to Randolph. I'll probably be calmer on the next episode.
I haven't seen this clown in a while.
The Earth is a spinning globe with air pressure hurling through an infinite vacuum.
Not defying physics at all. Totally.
Yeah, so let's go through this one by one. What's up, Rebel? The Earth is a spinning globe, that's true, with air pressure. Yes, this is the whole container vacuum. It's okay. Gravity doesn't exist. Hurling through an infinite vacuum. And then, all that. And then you have defying, like James says, defying all laws of physics. Even though you were actually explaining laws of physics. It's actually an A, not A right there. Was that funny? Are you not amused? We are. Welcome, Rebel. We were talking about apparently this has been an interesting episode, though only because of the past few weeks is this guy, we've had so many YouTubers be taken down, James. YouTuber, Met Movin, YouTuber, Mamail Allah. I just love when they have to, once again, I don't want to criticize people who legitimately like dressing in a sort of Arab type of way, because there's a lot of hot type of outfits that you can do, Middle Eastern outfits. It's just, and this again, they find this funny because I'm sure they view this as me. They're like, Traddy, you role playing, but it just seems like role playing. It just seems like it's made funnier by the fact that all of his handlers, his actual Muslim handlers, were like sitting there in Abercrombie and Fitch t-shirts. Like, yeah, dude, no, you're one of us. Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh my goodness,
be upon him or something. I guess I don't know.
And having to show we should show respect for the dead, but yet we should show respect because they had lives and they lived them and they had families. But like to think that they are still living, that is like and I don't mean like still living like, oh, grandma. I mean like, oh, prophet, leader that is still giving us commands, even from the dead. That sounds more like a supervillain, or at least what the henchmen of supervillain. That is my other new shtick. Oh, what? Yes, we were talking about Smokey. Smokey is another one where he was, like I was saying, a narcissist in that he would take down people very specifically by isolating whoever the person was and basically saying, whoever is friends with this person, you're a bad person. Do you know them? You're a terrible, terrible person. And people would join. He'd be like, do you like that person? And he'd like manhandle people into.
Like you're either with him 100% or you're opposed to him.
You're against him. Yes. And and children. Or, once again, these people project. We were going over how he targeted a specific atheist. I don't want to tell that atheist name out of actual sincerity, out of respect for the atheist, not out of respect for Smokey's mate. Because that YouTuber does great content. They know who they are. I'm sending love to them. Where do I submit? Oh, Stilett. I know you are a Patreon, and so I should have seen it, and I just missed it the first time. So, but the answer is here, and I'm queer, and feel free. It is depending on tier, but feel free to just send them in, and I will just see them and tag it like Beamsy here. I could show him. You're assuming their gender, saying manhandled, not person handled. Triggered. Hashtag. A little bit. You know who's gonna get person handled in prison? Oh my goddess. Hey, you know what? At least Khalil, while he's doing whatever, getting really bad peas or whatever they serve in there, it's like he has one last episode dedicated to him. But I've seen a lot of people basically making videos about him because everything's official now. It's one thing for us two schmucks to make fun of him, as we have been doing for a year. But it gets a little bit more serial once the paper has hit pen, and once the judge has actually given a declaration. And so I tip my hat. Like I said, I wanted to get him back when I thought that he was worth getting back. And when I found out the allegation, can I tell you how I know this is what I mean, Chris? This is how long this has been going on. I've had serious heart-to-heart conversations with James because I said I do not know in good conscience if I could go on to his channel and support. Didn't we basically have this conversation? Because I'm like, I wanted to win him over so badly.
Stopped for like 6 months. You stopped going on there
because it's like, even giving my name, I'm giving him credit now because this is Bon Voyage. But like, I didn't want to give. I started to learn as we grew as a channel that.
Let's help you pack.
Yeah, that's right. Here's your shit. You're gonna be helping make license plates, but these allegations have been around for a while.
Pile of license plates specifically.
Indeed. And yet I wanted to before this, because it's going on a while, wanted to win him over because I really do feel like you guys are in a cult. I feel like you're in a cult, Chris. Like, unless actually I say this only moderately because I don't even remember if you're actually a Muslim. Are you a Muslim or are you?
I don't think he's a
you like you respect the Muslim faith. Hey, the Muslim apologist has joined. What's that Muslim apologist? And he challenged, as I cough, he challenged me to a debate, which I would be happy to accept. We can have it on here, on there, on wherever you would like. I'll even reiterate my position, which we were talking about in the video, which is I do believe that a good reason to not be a theist is getting rid of the fear of death. And we see this with events of 9/11. I feel bad to put that on you right there, but I made that claim as well as we've been talking about Khalil, though. Khalil has nothing to do with 9/11. Khalil has to do, and his stuff, honestly, it has nothing to do with being Muslim either. If he ends up blaming it on his atheism, I mean, that will also be stupid when he was an atheist. But it's because he was a shit. I think that was the clinical term, right, James? I think we're gonna have to check that. And so
we'll look it up.
That is I just find that it is the religious people that are now going to defend him. you will do anything in your power to support him. Oh, I'm sure they have an address. Cookies, maybe a sweater, cigarettes, maybe. I hear they go well.
Well, he pled guilty, so he's not even saying he's innocent.
I'm sure. Like I know that his wife is doing the "He Ain't Guilty" world tour right now on circuits.
Is she?
I've seen interviews, but it also, I know there's, go check out a good Tom Rabbit interview that just came out, though he may have been holding that in his back pocket until, once again, paper hit pencil with the court. Islam is just preparing public defense to his charge. He could be like David Wood. Oh, and Judith, that's what James thinks he's going to do. Is that say that the atheism was what made him do it, but I'm a better man now. I found God. In jail? Probably. Oh, okay.
Well, I was just a baby Muslim. I only had been converted for like a year and a half. So I came into prison as a baby Muslim, a baby revert. But, you know, these past 12 years, I've just learned so much.
So much. Krish, but come on. You tell me that's not bullshit. Once you take your Shahada, you are a new man. Your sins. We hear this from Christians. Jeffrey Dahmer became a born again. He's in heaven, having the fancy times.
You got to watch my VHS tape.
Saw DVD. But like that, see, but that's now you are trying to retcon because now you're saying he's a new man. Okay, good. That new man should pay for their old therapy because those kids. What does that mean to them? That's great for him. I'm glad he found himself. I mean, you know where he shouldn't find himself? In children.
So there are lots of atheists out there that don't go around molesting, blanking children. So that's not an atheist problem. That's a Justin problem.
Yes. Oh, we're on the Khalil was just from EA Dawa, as I like to say.
That's right, Big Bad Mama.
Check EA Dawa.
Jeffrey Dahmer, once he got my videotapes in prison, he became a Christian, born again Christian, and he was murdered in prison.
And so he used to be a atheist channel, and then he converted. And then a year went by, and allegations came up probably a year ago, and now it turns out that everything they said were true, and he pled guilty to it. And once again, I can't tie it to Islam any more than he was a Muslim. But there's tons of shitty people. I just hope that the Muslims, hint, hint, hint to anyone out there in chat, but I love you, shouldn't defend him. He could be a good man. He'll get his 12 years. He'll go through it. There you go. I think he should get more. Not because I don't have hate in my heart, but just the severity of the crime.
The amount of harm that he could have done.
Just the white collar crimes that get off with like 6 months to a year, and he is going to get a decade. James, I remember a decade ago. To me, and I know that I'm young and I'm getting older, but I'm now old enough that exactly another thing. If you're in your 30s and anyone calls you old, just say what. This is Chris Hansen. Please take a seat. Mr. Amy Newman.
He's with a penis. You will never know what it feels like to have a wet vagina or to give birth.
Well, can I also, those type of people, they also creep me out because they're the type of women, if she was a woman and not someone with a voice changer, that like was just like, I am taught, I am for when a man finally lays hands on me. It's like, you only value yourself for the, it's like this
you
weird.
think he's innocent too, Muslim apologist? Okay.
I personally believe he's not guilty. Okay, well, can I ask, why do you guys think he took the plea deal? Do you think he was just like, he was stuck in a corner?
All right, Amy, we're out of time.
Are we out of time? Oh, gotcha. In time, on time. Oh my, that's right. Hold on, let me like to get something fancier on for when Nick is in chat. What's up, Nick? Which you should all be doing. Checking out in time. Legal financial problems, most likely, and the easiest way out was to plead guilty. Do you know what he has to? I don't think like the severity of his crime. What he admitted to, your life will never be the same. He now has to check in, even after his 12 years. Every 3 months, you have to check into the sheriff of the town. Oh, yes. Tier 3. I just wish him a lot of luck. I wish his roommate a lot of luck. And yeah, we'll be going. By the way, this is Ask Us Anything or Say Something Funny. We always say, like to stick by it. You laugh or you cry. But I had to send love out to you all out there. I'm just reading chat. I can't help myself. Springtime for new men in Germany. Has anyone seen the new? I have to see the new history. What the hell? Why is the name escaping me? Besides everything else in my brain. History of the World, Part 2. I'm old enough to remember when saying Part 1 was a joke. Aha. Plea deals are taken when you know you are done to reduce the penalty. Sure. Free lawyers should know the service is crap. Oh, I remember. Like, I am guilty of a crime that I pled guilty to. And I was guilty to it. Problem was the paperwork. My problem is I would have not pled guilty if I was not guilty to it. That may have been just me, but I didn't feel my crime should have been illegal. And so I tried to explain to them, I wasn't angry at them. I was angry I got caught, if I'm being honest. And so I want to, again, apologize to the government. It was not my intention to be caught. I paid my lawyer with money that they also said was things that were illegal. But I told my lawyer this too. He's like, don't tell me this. Don't tell me this. Don't make it illegal. Oh my goodness. I had sodomy charges. Attempted sodomy charges.
Of all the things you charged her with.
Audacity. They're the ones who stopped me. If they had given me a minute, 10 minutes, an hour, feel like that one's more on them. But I always like my crime too, because the moment I pled guilty to everything, they're like, naughty girl. You've been a naughty, naughty girl. We're dropping everything now. I'm like, what? They're like, oh yeah, we're dropping everything. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just going to take my wrist out. I'm going to slap it now. They're like, yes, thank you. Kinky. And then after they were impressed by how well I had slapped my own wrist, I'm hoping that one of them in the court decided to hire me later. Never kept good records, so that's on them. James, can I ask, how long do you have?
Have what?
How long do you have? I know that we may have
about an hour.
About an hour. Do you want to allow someone on? Do we have room for three? The Muslim apologist is like, hey, I want to come on. We do have room for a third. It is kind of a tricycle, though. We don't. It's not a.
Why not?
Why not? We're rolling. All right, but we're only throwing it out there for you, Muslim, and we only got. This is a daytime stream for a reason, because I will start to burn. I mean, we have to go out in a little bit, and I have to grade papers. Isn't that crazy? Woo! So it's fun. It's an experience. I think I like teaching. It's in the streamosphere. I am a queer. Here. And all right. Do we have a transition? I do. Yes, not just here. We're going to bring in. We're asking us anything or saying something funny. We will still read all of your membership, all of your super chats, and all of the love that you send in. Just keep on tagging us. Were you being a pain in the bum again? I was, or at least I was trying to be. Once again, the state ruins everything, folks, unless they're giving good social programs. Anyway, we're going to bring in the Muslim apologists for asking us anything or saying something funny. So why we pay Gizmo for all the amazing graphics? I'm just saying, the catnip out of this world. What's up, Command Cyborg, and welcome, the Muslim apologists. We are asking us anything or saying something funny, but we couldn't help. We always have like an open call in every episode of every show that we do to just basically bring in creationists. And so, hi.
Hey, good day, Amy. And James, how are you?
Good day.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
I hope you're doing well. I think we're a day off, so happy Easter.
Yeah, I don't celebrate Easter, sorry.
That's okay, neither do I.
I think it should be around 3:24 p.m. your time, right? Because right now it's 3:24 a.m. my time, so I'm actually in the middle of the night.
Oh my! You're the time that we normally go live, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know that because sometimes I do my live streams at around this time anyway. So yeah.
But yes, I'm sorry, just grabbing pens. How are you doing?
Yeah, sure.
And I guess what did you come on board to talk with us about?
Yes. I just wanted to say hi, and also, following up with what I asked you whether we could, arrange some sort of dialogue or debate or whatever, perhaps at a separate time, not here. But the main reason why I decided to come here is to ask you about Khalil, and maybe you have something that I don't know about, because the information that I'm getting is very scant. I can tell you that Muslims are actually distancing themselves from him, and nobody wants to talk about him anymore, unfortunately. But I personally don't think that he is guilty. There has been indications that it may have been something else. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I don't want to, judge or prejudge. Even though he has made a guilty plea, I know that he has made a guilty plea, but I still want to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I think maybe you guys may know something that I don't.
Sure, that his children have had to have been interviewed by child psychologists, that he has gone through a system and a plea, an extremely serious plea, that the only pushback that we get is a framing that he is being framed, which to me sounds like conspiracy theory. And so the notion that they're coming after him for his religion, that's bullshit. And so the question is, what is his case?
Yes. I would like to know I would like to know the circumstances of what has happened actually. If you know anything, I mean, maybe someone in the chat knows about it, and maybe you can bring them on as well. I don't know.
I would love to get someone, especially, I wish we could possibly have I say ex because still wife, but however that works, wish we could get her, but I don't think she wants to really get publicity, and I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, I guess, we've been making jokes about this for a year. Like, the allegations have been going on, and he has always framed it as a religious coming after me, which I view as the weakest. I don't view this as an Islam thing. I think it's a little weird, once again, to go from the two religions that he was in.
All right.
But
okay,
yes.
Fair enough. Yeah. So I mean, because honestly, I don't know how the American system works. I don't know how the system works. But I can tell you, having been accused myself of a horrible crime that I did not commit, and fortunately, I came out of it unscathed. I could actually sympathize with Halil, because I think that he may have been in the same position as I was before. I don't know what you know about my case, because previously I was accused of possession of what, I was. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
sorry,
yeah.
my brain actually went to a different place.
Yes.
Then I realized I forgot what the subject was, and I was like, cocaine?
Yes.
You had cocaine?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yes. I was accused of that CP. All right. So
Yes.
so it was a horrible experience for me, and fortunately I don't know, I guess I got out of it lucky, because fortunately I was cleared of the crime. But because of that incident, it has scarred me. All right. So even after 2 years after the fact, people were still are still talking about it, but not many people. I think it has faded from memory. But yeah. So the thing is, I sympathize with Khalil.
Did you go to court, or did someone take you to court and then you won, and so you're vindicated?
I was put in the police lockup for 3 days because of this incident. Okay, I was accused of this, and then the investigating officer, made the investigation, and then after several months, he said that I'm cleared of the charges, and there won't be any charge made against me in court. So the case was just simply dropped, without any charge being made. So
But can you at least grant me 2 pipelines, 2 investigations? The police went to you and they're like, okay, go.
Yes, they came to my house. They put
Khalil,
they came to my house.
12 years.
They came to my house and raided my house, and they took my items, accusing me of this. And they even made a police video. They made a police video of the arrest, even though I wasn't even charged for anything yet.
So there's a phenomena called swatting, which is a type of trolling, in which you make FBI calls that warrant the person. They, instead of doxing you, they use that information and get the SWAT team on you. And so whoever it was did that to you. But so just because you had a person do a bad experience court-wise,
Yes.
it does not mean, and I would say you shouldn't want to tie yourself to someone like Khalil, who, if the system works, then it went through you, didn't have anything, you were set free and innocent. I don't know anything about your case. I just know what you're telling me. Khalil went through the system, jury court of his peers.
All right.
Found him guilty of sexual assaulting both of his. Oh, we lost James. Both of his stepchildren.
All right. Okay. So, is there evidence for this, and what are the testimony, or do you know anything about that?
Yes,
Sorry
his wife.
Sorry for bugging you about that.
No, it's fine. And we've been talking about the whole. It's so funny for most of it, because we have our little debate community or whatever, and he was the Muslim side of that, and. What was the question again? Oh, his wife. His wife has been the one pushing. His wife, and I assume the children, who he no longer has custody of. And so
I presume that you're talking about the ex-wife who's not the Muslim, and there's another wife who's the Muslim, right?
It depends on how you declare. Legally, in American law, she's still his wife. And technically, if you're talking about who he's with partner-wise, then yes, he is with his new wife. That is the Muslim revert.
Okay, under Islamic law, the ex-wife has no rights over him anymore. So
no, I got. I parsed that out exactly. Like I keep on saying, we're atheists, and that's kind of our thing, is being atheists here. So we're we're skeptics and all that.
But I understand. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
But so and there's a lot of information. There's a lot more. Like I've been saying, James and myself have been making jokes, just like they've been making. There were Bill Cosby jokes on the circuit, and it wasn't until the one time that what the fuck? He's a good comedian too. He's a fucking good made that joke, and it caught on. We've been making jokes forever, and now it's just finally become official. And so, we don't know any more than you can actually find the court documents. The actual court documents have been
trying to look for it. Honestly, Amy, I've been trying to look for it, but I couldn't find it.
Really?
I don't know where it is.
I've seen atheist channels that have gone through them.
Maybe you can point me to that. I'll prefer to get it from legal sources, because I don't want to go through atheist sources.
Now here's the problem though. It's in our community circuit. So good luck. You're either going to find, I think, a Muslim or an atheist. It's very hard to do. Some of us have outside channels that do other stuff like soccer or the news. But but he might not made it into the news. I don't know if he made it into the local news, but it was in our circle also, because he used to be
Yes, I know that he used to be. I know that he used to be one of you. That is why I've.
And let me tell you,
you probably know more about this. Yes.
Yeah, and I used to go on his channel because I wanted to win him back. The only way I knew how, which is debate.
I think I've seen you. I've seen you coming on his channel and discussing.
Listen, he has always been nice to me. He started to develop weird beliefs because of, like he was saying like evolution is real, but Adam and Eve were the first ones that had a soul, and all the others didn't. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so like, but that was the last conversation that I was having with him. But then I stopped talking with him 6 months ago because of all these allegations. I'm like, I don't want to give him credit.
All right. Okay. All right. Understood. I mean, I can, like I said, I can tell you that the Muslims have distanced themselves from him, and
good.
I'm probably the only. I'm only the. I don't think it's good, but okay, that's your position.
Think they should defend him just because he's a Muslim?
I think he should be defended because he's a Muslim, and also I personally have interacted with him, and I feel that he may or may not be guilty. I mean, yes, Amy, I know that you may not agree with this,
But
but
that because I would,
have my
you should
sentiments.
think about that for a second. I'm going to defend this insert the grapes kids because they're an atheist. And you know what? I know it sounds like it's terrible, horrible crimes to you, but let me tell you, they just do amazing counter-apologetic work. No,
All right.
no.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
I
sending love to
respect
you.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm passionate like this because I think that it, by actually attaching and defending and by putting that position, you are actually not doing your faith a service. That you will actually.
like I said, I'm not saying that he's innocent or guilty. I'm not taking that position at all. I'm just saying that I want to look into the facts and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt before I actually. I know what the system says, and I don't trust. Honestly, Amy, I can tell you this: having gone through what I've gone through, I don't trust the system, not one bit. Okay, I have zero trust in the system. Okay,
See,
and you
but
cannot
I
fault
also
me.
went through the system.
You cannot fault me for this, all right? Because I've tested the police lockup for 3 days. I went through a lot of suffering, so sure. Fuck the police, okay? Basically, I'm just going to say that.
Listen,
right?
I went through the system too. I was in a raid, okay? I was in a sting operation, and so I went through all that stuff too. I was guilty though. I was 100% guilty, and I will keep on saying.
If you don't mind me asking of what
Absolutely,
exactly?
I'm almost baiting you too. But that it was the promoting and the act of prostitution.
I see.
And
all right.
I had 2 felonies, 2 serious ones. The 2 serious ones was that any more than one person working together is, technically speaking, criminal conspiracy. So it wasn't just that I was doing it. It's that me and all my roommates as sisters were doing it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so that was probably number 1. Okay. Number 2 was, and I'm going to make this joke because I set it up so badly that I have to. Just want to point out that pimping ain't easy.
All right.
Look, it's a lot of marketing. All right. It's a lot of communication skills, HR.
TMI, Amy.
And I'll be joking because I am not that, though. I handled the call. And so when you handle the call, that means you got that charge. But I will say that when I pled guilty to all of these charges, they dropped both felonies instantly. They went whoop, whoop. And they said, we're basically going to drop your 1 misdemeanor down to 1, because we had 2 others. Our other misdemeanors were good old prostitution and my favorite. You were talking about the TMI. Good sir. No one else has a charge like attempted sodomy. And so they took that off, and we just had the 1, and we paid a fine. In the end, they dropped 3 out of 4 charges. They made us basically pay court fees, and it was the biggest slap on the wrist. So I also learned a lot. Like I went through, and I should add and then we're gonna show the super chat. I had like a weird. I now see like a weird bitch test and all these things with a guy who was going like this to me. And I had to stare at him like his mother until he realized he was ridiculous behind glass. I learned there's 2 police systems, that there is a fancy, bougie, suburban police, and that there are city police that look like if you imagine The Walking Dead and like the type of police that you get when the post-apocalypse falls, those are the city police. I love you, city police, but that's what you're dressed as. Like, they are dressed for fucking war, where like the suburban police, even though he had especially the sheriff guy had like a rural flair, he was ready to basically take his hat off for me and take me to the women's restroom. I could have had a bomb on me in city jail, and they would have been like, the lady was like, "Yeah, you're good, Pat. Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're good. Good, go. You probably have a handgun or something. You're fine."
Okay.
I'm rambling at this point, but I've been through all of that. And so I know that a lot of it's nonsense. I know that a lot of it is that they just want you to dot your dotted I's. However, let me tell you, I will keep on saying, charges he went under, they are not dotted I's. There ain't, like, in fact, what he got, as far as I'm concerned, is the I'm hitting you on the wrist version for the crime that he did.
Yes, maybe perhaps that's the reason why he took the guilty plea.
I guess I would say that if you accept that, it also comes with, if I didn't do it though, I would say
to admit to that if you did it.
I don't think I could take that as a guilty plea if I didn't do it. Because if you didn't do it, and the facts are you didn't do it.
Well, like I said, I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt because I haven't seen the evidence myself with my own eyes. So I'm only listening to third-party, statements.
See, but can I tell you why I took the guilty plea?
Oh, what he says, not yet. He said he's guilty.
But why? But do you get the feeling my whole story? Do you understand why I took the guilty plea?
I would think that you would just want to, get rid of all the legal problems associated with it, and you just want to get it done with. Because I probably would have done the same thing.
Yes, but also, I was guilty. Like, I don't think that any of the things that they charged me of should be guilty. I think they all shouldn't have been crimes to begin with. But if you're asking me, did I do them? And so here's the thing. This is how we should put it in two different buckets. Because we're now. I did the thing, but I don't think it should be illegal. If Khalil is telling me I did the thing, but I don't think it should be illegal, he should be in jail.
Did he say this?
No, I'm telling you that if he is like me, but that's why I'm saying it's apple. That's why I'm trying to separate out the apples from orange.
All right.
I don't think that what I did should be guilty, but I did it. If they had done a sting operation on me and I'd been like, "Oh, gee willikers," I mean, let me tell you something. They caught me with a backpack filled with nothing but, and I kid you not, dildos and Bibles. Why Bibles? Because I would go around to the hotels and I would take all the Bibles because I was still at that stage of my life. And so I could have went, as you guys, as I was going to get, but I could have went, you guys, it was Bible Club. I could have said, I'm not guilty. You guys, I know that you have me taped making a call saying what a great deal for a foursome. But you know what? It was a Bible study foursome. We were just going to get it on with God.
That's an amazing price. You said that.
Amazing. Yeah. Not only is that like arced in my head, but the guy looked like Hank from Breaking Bad. So just imagine Hank from Breaking Bad just being like, "Oh yeah, that's a great I love that price. I should have known." It's the dumbest moment of my life.
Sir. Place your penis on the Bible and raise your right hand.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm lucky they didn't throw the book at me, yes. But but the crimes they were accusing me were I'm guilty of. I'm proud of them because I like doing it. And like I said, I paid my lawyer off because
you would do it again the next day.
I would indeed. Because we didn't. That was our system of money, and they're like, "Well, don't do that." And I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, "What'd you pay the lawyer with?" That. So yes, Now I have since become more in academia. I like to think of myself as going into more epistemological, ontological subjects than what can fit up someone's butt. However, I still think that's a good job. It should be legal, etc., etc. And so I almost view myself, I'm so brave, as an advocate for it.
Trailblazer.
And trailblazer. The first in history, I think, to actually like this sort of thing. And so I guess that's the difference. There's two cases. Either A, he is saying, I took the plea deal because it shouldn't be illegal anyway. And I've heard that on 4chan, let me tell you, certain religious circles. But what is it? What do the Mormons do too? All sorts of crazy crap. But if he's just saying that, so two buckets. Is he saying that it shouldn't be illegal and therefore he shouldn't be in there anyway? Or is he saying he was framed? Which they've been saying he was framed. It took me a lot to get me to say that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm more inclined to believe that he was framed, but of course, I don't have the facts at hand, so I reserve judgment until I actually see the information, right? So I don't want to prejudge. I mean, I don't want to take a position that I may or may not regret. You see, although in Islam,
don't want to
we
lose
as
constituents.
Muslims, you see, the
Why would
thing is,
anybody go through the trouble to frame it, though?
yeah. And anyway, I just wanted to point out.
Khalil.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that as Muslims, as a Muslim myself, we as Muslims are taught to always not prejudge someone until we actually hear the evidence from themselves, or we see the evidence, or we witness the evidence ourselves. So that is why I'm taking this position. So I'm not saying that he's not guilty. I'm not saying that he's guilty. All right, but I am inclined to believe that
The state is saying
he was
he's guilty, though.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't believe the state. Yeah, fuck the state. All right. So sorry for the French. All right. Yeah. Pardon
No,
my
you're
French.
fine. It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
We'll let it go.
Yeah.
But like I said,
Well, but not Khalil.
Well, no, Khalil got off as far as we can tell, and that's why I think, I don't know, if I didn't do it, there is not a plea deal in history that I think could get me to accept that. But
okay,
that's just me. I guess Muslim, we'll let you have the last because you said you wanted to actually have, or James wants to say something. But
that's not to say that people haven't been strong-armed into plea deals before where the case is really tenuous, but they're like, look, plead guilty to this one charge, 30 years, or we're going to stack these 10 charges on, you're going to get life in prison, where people have had to make the decision, oh, I'm screwed, but am I going to get screwed royally or just screwed a little? It's a fuck deal.
But it also worries me. Don't give him the benefit of the doubt because he's a Muslim. I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's an atheist.
It's not just that. It's also because I've interacted with him. I've spoken to him before, and I think he's a good gentleman. So it's that as well. All right. Yeah.
I mean that may be the case, but I mean.
I liked Khalil too. I wanted to win him over. I am
sexuality is like it's such a obtuse part of people's personality. It's impossible to gauge it.
Sex crimes and then sex crimes against children. Once again, I know that they think it's the LGBTQ that are targeting children. I find this as a projection. I find that it is generally the secular allies that actually protect children. My worry is actually that multiple religions have protected. I'm trying not to get TOS blocked for this word. For people who grape children. And so
Ted Bundy had a cadre of women who used to flock around him from courtroom to courtroom. He probably fantasized about raping them and killing them, but
Nick. Also, I should have said, Nick, we can't even bring in more people. though we're going to be having more
All right.
open mics within the next few
Okay.
nights.
So anyway, I think I'll
yes,
leave now.
Muzzle
Right? Okay.
apologist. If you any last sentence or two.
Yeah. Before I go, I would like to say hi to Randolph. I think he mentioned me in the chat, so I'm just going to say hi to him. I've talked to
love
him before.
Randolph.
I've debated him on MDD, and he's also a very fine and great gentleman. Although of course I disagree with his atheism, but hey, that's just our positions, right? So before I go, Amy, perhaps we could arrange some sort of dialogue or debate
That's
on
what I
your
was gonna
platform
say.
or
Absolutely.
on my platform. Yeah.
Or both.
Or both. Yeah, up to you.
Woo-hoo. All right, Muzzle apologist. It was lovely having you on, and let's make
Likewise.
that work, and we'll have a debate.
Thank you, Amy. All right. So I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Oh, and Randolph is also saying it is recorded. Oh my god. Sending love to Randolph Richardson, who I really do love. Being all his streams are always fun. What is up, Stephanie? Yes, I really do. It was something that happened to Smokey slowly but surely. I tried to put my arms here, and then I realized that I no longer have a chair. Hey, you took that chair. I can gain. I was sitting. I've got on the small chair. Oh my goodness.
And what's the last 4 digits?
What is up, Drew? Any person who sleeps with little boys is a homosexual. Really? So you're saying, wait, any man that sleeps with little boys is a homosexual? Yeah, well, that's not the problem, is them being homosexual. So if you are a man who sleeps with little girls, you're not a homosexual. You're still a reprobate degenerate.
That's still not good.
Yeah, the problem is not the gender; it's the age. I don't know if.
Yeah, that's the primary issue there.
Yes, you can be, as long as they're consenting. You can have a man and a woman. Go knock your socks off, or something in between. Exactly. Have a man, a woman, and something in between. Go knock your socks off, as long as they're consenting adults. Once again, I can't. It feel bad that this became the theme of the episode, but yet it is topical because it happened after all these months of us making Chuck E. Cheese jokes. He actually is going to jail. Yeah, like Tsunami said, it's oftentimes not about gender. It is about power, manipulation. Like I said, they imprint on us. So, someone with a narcissistic God complex who wants to have people say and do whatever you want. Children. Look, I understand that you said you admire him for arguments. It's so hard not to do Godwin's Law right now. I have to be. I hate to be that person because normally it's not me. But it did take Germany. It took multiple years to in-house convince Germany that their leader with a mustache was not a nice man. Now they're the biggest advocates against it. They got museums and days of memorial. And so, we were saying, it happened to Smokey. They distance himself. It'll happen to Khalil. Good. All right, he's not going to be coming back for some years. And so, but it was fun having you, Muzzle Apologist, absolutely. And we will set up a debate. I will rate it.
But I guarantee he will come back as an even more devout Muslim. He's a lifer. He'll never leave.
But James, I'll come back a Muslim. I'll have not only
he's a lifer. He'll never leave.
hijab. I'll be wearing a burqa. Hey, 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 Shani. I don't know if I said it, but also sending love to Pragmatic Crystal. You've been hanging out with us. Sending love to everybody who's been hanging out with us. Sending love to Doorknob Head, who very specifically we travel together at different streams. So I see lots of you. Your faith is out there. We're probably going to be around for another 15 minutes, but then I think we're going to start to close shop soon. Probably.
Yeah. All good things must come to an end.
Yes. I'm sending love to all of our supporters out there, the viewers and everyone. We'll read any more. If you are just a subscriber, a viewer, we'll say hi and read stuff. But if you are a super chatter, if you are a Patreon or a Twitch follower, though it also does help if you tag us. That does help me see it. But then we'll talk about it, show it up there, and get your one-liners. I just want you to know also the continuation of I've never seen an anti-LGBTQ person not be gay. That happened like again over the weekend. Had another person who I didn't know they were gay, though they sometimes got confused for a girl, and they were very anti-gay, and then turns out they were very gay. They just don't call it being gay. They're like, but it's the homosexual attraction, the perversion that I fight with. And it's like, why every time? Every time. Everyone, a PSA out there for everyone in the closet. Just crack a little bit of the window open, open that door handle. Look outside. The weather's fine. Yeah, religious thinking. You know, there's a lot of smart people out there.
A lot of
smart theists. It's just that on their religious beliefs, they tend to all be nonsense. I have not heard a single. I guess that's why we are atheists, but they all just seem like a repackaging of the same nonsense. Just the more deistic, the more harder they are to suss out, but that's about it.
Every argument for religion is a logical fallacy.
Basically, should make more emojis. We're gonna have more clips coming soon. We just got done our Pascal's wager. I should look something more fun is on the dock. Stilett, what do you think is the best way to say use any pronoun? Saw someone in chat say it was suspicious that I said that he, she, they. Is he, she, they better in your opinion? I take pronouns on two levels. One, it is the stereotype level that we all come to think of. That if you are wearing eyeliner and have long hair and a dress, chances are I'm going to use feminine pronouns. And if you are in a tuxedo, yes, like I hate to use rule of thumb because I think I've been really careful with expressions lately because I think that's actually either a bad expression or an American expression. I don't know. But like a good guideline is just like, yeah, if they're wearing a suit and they have a long beard, use he. Now, if they tell you differently or they're if they're androgynous, it's never sometimes it's always good to ask. A actual good tip if you don't know how to pronounce someone's name is to ask them. It's way worse to get corrected instead of to say, hey, how do you say your name again? And then you'll get to hear them say it. It's the same with pronouns. Just ask them, and then you can't be wrong. And so at that point, it's up to you. You know, if they tell you a different one, I look at someone, I have a femboy sub that, they wear a dress, high heels, and they have very short hair, not a drop long, military style haircut. And yet I look at them all day long and use she, her pronouns. So to me, it comes second nature. I understand it may be hard to call someone, now they don't often have a beard, but if someone has a beard and they want she, her. And so, I try to be nice to people, as in, like, I think that I put a lot of time putting work on my face. But I like doing this. I've always liked makeup. I do this out of pleasure. I like experimenting with different colors and palettes. And so I like to think that I give people enough that you should pass test 1. But even if you don't, and I tell you, then there's test 2. And then if you still don't, even after those 2, then it becomes like it's more of like a them thing than like a me thing. Because it's like now it's like you want to have a political conversation. It's like, I just want to pump my gas.
They want to die on.
Yeah, like it's something that happens so quick in our lives, and that if we're already having a conversation, it could be a quick conversation, and that if we need to have a long conversation, then it better be in a comfy environment where I have cappuccino and I'm sitting. The rule of thumb, because they don't like where I hate if you call someone racist, transphobic, homophobic, they may be all 3. And yet the argument will become, well, what does it mean to be racist? What does it mean to be homophobic or trans? Avoid that. Avoid all those pitfalls. Is this person, am I going to be an asshole? Gesundheit. It's really what it all comes down to. And that should be your only barometer. But sending love, Stilette, who I just noticed I have to individually, Gizmo should remind me I should individually update all of the credits, and I'm going to have to add Stilette's name via voice and banner at the end. Thank you so very much, Stilette, for joining. I have my own process. You gotta go After Effects. You go in there. Once you go to the After Effects and you export that, you got a good Premiere pipeline, which is your video editing program. And I learned this all, of course, from Gizmo. Thank you, Gizmo. I want to do more. I keep on saying this, but I have some of the shows include Creative and Comical, which is how to do podcasting and how to do video editing and everything, because I feel like that is just something I want to get out there. Asking someone's pronouns is literally, are you a boy or a girl? It's really hard for me to do, kind of like when you see a fat girl and you're not sure if she's pregnant. I get you. Can I tell you a story? One of the funniest things. I have a decent, I like to think, I have fairly decent physique. I got nicely trying to think if I'm working out so much that I can go like this and show off and all that. However, when I do gain weight, I sometimes gain it on my belly. And so, like, I was going through, it must have been a phase in early morning where we were all going to Cheesecake Factory. And it doesn't help because sometimes the way I hold myself, especially I'm always cold, I will like hold my stomach. And so like it was like that. And like the waitress came over and she was so excited. She was like, oh, what do you do? And my brother, without missing a beat, jumped up and was like, June, she's just about there. And so my brother was super excited. I hopefully do not look pregnant, but I get what you mean. It is awkward. It can be. And that's why I think it always behooves, you know, if you are in a gender marker and you're trying to transition, you know, you give people a little heads up. But then sometimes, you know, so there are people that I've dated, and I like androgynous people, that it's always going to be a little bit hard. I've had to ask that question as an LGBTQ person. As I always like to say, I have more than half of those letters. Oh, that's right. In fact, I'll get that up there. We should be pinning. You should be going checking out the Theist Helpline. We've been having great conversations on the politics server. I say this every time, but like a good 1/4 of the people that come on the show always trigger the show exists. They're always like, what are you even doing here? Why even make a show like this?
Why do this?
Over and over and over. Once again, I like those conversations because they always have it in the most whining, condescending tone. And so they're kind of doing the thing that they hate. They're like, why are you being so smug? Why are you even having this show? My God, there's like a billion Christian shows, Muslim, Hindu, whatever the hell.
I mean,
You
it's
can't
like,
let us have one.
come and tell us why we're wrong. Don't just complain about the fact that we're on here talking.
We must have heat because I smell smoke.
Tell us why we're wrong.
That is right. Come back on and tell us why. And we probably you should do so soon because we got 10 more minutes and then we're probably going to be heading out. But it's been another fantastic Ask Us Anything. I say something funny. You know, it was topical, though all of our things tend to have their own shtick. This was our spring fever PSA that should be for consenting legal adults. Who knew, James? Who knew? Mostly everybody, but, you know, why even exist? Sponsored by Hot Topic. People also think that I am very gothy. I feel like I get that vibe. It's because of the jewelry stationed, the dark hair. And I do wear so much black. But my joke is I feel like a rainbow on the inside. And so imagine like a chocolate muffin, but it has like frosting on the center. Fun fact, queer Jewish people are natural. I will say, I have never heard of a Jewish comedian, or you know what? I may end up, once again, I'm still the ex, but, you know, I'm going into producing, so at least I am related to going into the same field. I feel like a rainbow on the inside. That's right. Oh, sending love, Sinister Porpoise. When you think of Sinister Porpoises, think of the Sinister Porpoise. And Spooky Bedhead. Spooky. That is what my bed hair looks like quite often. Oh, I'm sorry, Nathiest. I didn't mean to make you. You know, I get you. It's not something, this type of subject, the Khalil, the fucking Smoky Saint. We end up trying to phase out all these guys' name. Like, a different type of horrible category, like a certain precept, I always just like to refer to him as, you know, Marth Mater. What a weird thing. A 6-year-old guy known for basically arguing people at this point in the back web. Not a content creator of any sort.
No.
Not a podcast enjoyer. So it's not like he's in the podcast community. He likes to listen to podcasts. He likes to talk in the chat or things like that. Literally just there because he knows other people are going to record him.
And just there to scream at people and
Yes.
insult people. Never having an intelligent conversation.
Yes, well, they have. The longer I listen to Presups, the more that I realize they have their own lingo. And so I've realized why those conversations are so annoying. Like, it is literally like you have to learn a new subgenre of English. They're all English words, but they're used very differently from how people... Like, that's why the questions are so unnerving, because you're like, I don't know. No one's put those. James, what is your foundation?
What is ultimate to you?
What is your ultimate? Well, it's about $7.50 if you go to McDonald's, but we can get a 4 for $4 at Wendy's. Like, there are not questions framed how they would be in physics, in biology.
Like, no. You have to have something as to ground everything. Why do we need to have that? Well, because you just do. No, you don't.
Randolph and Amy are fluent in JavaScript. Ooh, as well as JavaScript, as well as Klingon. Oh, did we read? Now that I'm seeing the other one, did we read the one that was back there? I feel like we missed the super chat, or am I just getting it now? No, we did. Here we go. $2 super chat. I'm so sorry, missing all the way in the back. $2 said MA is also guilty. Now I'm trying to James, are we too far back? I'm trying to remember what MA was.
Muslim apologist.
Oh! Wow. Well, they're coming for you, Muslim apologist. I will say that is a little bit of a creepy charge. You know, I guess that, the cops said they let you go. I don't know enough to make anything. I don't know what is with Islam and the little girls.
What's the last 8 digits?
But thank you so very much, Udoff, for all the love and support. We could not appreciate you. We see Udoff everywhere, and sending all of that love right back at you. And yet, I guess that was my main point, is that I pled guilty and I was guilty. Did Khalil plead guilty because he was guilty? If we're just using the same logic. He would have to be pleading not guilty, or pleading guilty to something he is in fact not guilty to. Where I just don't think mine should have been illegal. Not at
What's the last
all.
5 digits?
We'll take the 5. And a $2 super chat coming in from Sinister Corpus. Woo! Thank you so much. I'm going to choke on my own air. The Isaac Asimov wrote my foundation. Oh, that's right. The book. Yeah, I see what you did there. And that's probably a better answer than anything they've ever given. Isaac Asimov was a great man and a better writer of science fiction than the Torah, the Gospel, or the Quran. And then we have a super sticker coming in. Woo! Thank you so very much, Drew the Dog Man. Lovely to have you on board with us. I'm trying to show it. And it's a behind-the-scenes sticker Thank you so very much for all love and support. We're hoping this is our episode of Behind the Scenes. We kind of just talk about what's on our mind. James was going to, we were going to do, but I think it's expanded to grow into something bigger, has kind of the list that he was talking about. And so we're going to be sending that out to you as we figure out some more cool topics, as well as we got a lot of cool content coming up.
This conversation is being recorded.
We need to shut this down.
Yeah.
Mossad, are we still allowed? Oh, really? Soros did what? With the who?
In the kitchen?
The kitchen? Oh my God. We'll tell Will Smith to put it back. Anyway. Another person that's been having epic takedowns. I saw amazing Jim Jeffries special he just had out, and then a Marlon Wayne special was just out. Both two amazingly funny gentlemen you should both check out.
Mr. Ted Haggard.
Ted Haggard is completely heterosexual. It was George Soros in the kitchen with the candlestick. Isn't much in the shutting down. The Energizer Bunny. Listen.
Ted Haggard with the meth.
I will say I am the queen of saying, like, just another minute. Just another minute. Amy time is real, unfortunately.
Time dilation.
A little bit. Anything else that we can give? Oh, thank you, Spooky Bed Hair. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We can get more members. You can hit that join button right down there and get our evolving badge system. Not only do we have not just red, yellow, green badges, but we actually start you out as test tubes, and you can evolve all the way to a spaceship as we go right through the Age of Enlightenment. And I do hope you all, I have to at least dance a little bit. Thank you all, because I dressed for spring flair. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I'm wearing any black at all, which is like, that is a rarity for me. I'm wearing at least some sort of color. I have so much stuff and so many cats in here. Oh my goddess. Woo! Yes, that is probably a group that we could be bigoted against. I'll be honest with you. Kids are assholes, all right? Oftentimes. They are leeches. They are not the wisest. Nonetheless, a lot of times they can be pretty cool. They're worth defending. They don't have anyone else. And so we need to be the ones to step up.
Oh, yeah?
And, oh yeah. I'm going to cough again. Excuse me. Oh, my God. Sponsored by Dry Mouth. I'm going to take a sip. Holy hell. We're taking really brave positions, though, James. Like, do you think that we're going to be able to go to work with people knowing that we're anti-pedo? Were you able to go to work after you defended against slavery? Were you able to still show your
rough.
head?
It's rough, you know. I mean, face lots of adversity, but yeah.
The crazy part is we make fun. The insane part is there are people on the other side. And you know who's coincidentally always on that other side? It's religion. If anyone was looking for a spoiler, I'm sorry. But
no, I think they could see it coming.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's just so many horrible jokes. We're just going to keep on moving forward. Sending love to all of you out there. We're asking us anything or saying something funny. I swear to you, we're laughing or crying. And if I say only a few more minutes, I'm pretty sure it's going to be another day. So with that, I think we're going to say, I hope you all had a fantastic time on this episode of Batman. Wait, no. On this episode of Ask Us Anything or Say Something Funny. Our love letter, really, to you, the show where we talk with our subscribers, our viewers, where our Patreons, our super chatters, our Twitch subscribers, the guy that's staring me late nights on weekends with binoculars while I change, all of those people. I just want to really thank you for this spring fever. Hey. It's the one. I'm trying to actually wear more color. The problem is that grayscale matches wear everything. It's like, don't wear black. And then black matches everything. Absolutely everything. If I wanted to change anything that I was wearing with black, none of you would notice. It would match perfectly. But spring fever, where we got to have a good time. Boo, boo, boo. Boo, boo, boo. Who? You can see the gears working, ladies and gentlemen. I do want to thank my co-host, James W. Along with the Muslim apologist. We had a guest panel today, along with all of our lovely people in chat. It was a surprise. Apparently, there was an extra special guest host, but he can't come back until 12 years from now. I'm going to keep on. It's such an easy joke, and yet not apparently as easy as not keeping his hands off kids. Anyway, this was the show where you got to send in your questions, comments, or one-liners. I was thanking people. You can hear the redundancy. We're not as redundant as the Bible, however. We're not paid by the letter. Our awesome mods who keep the stream so great. They go above and beyond. Sending love to, of course, the main people who count. Viewers like you. Who make this channel even possible. If you enjoy this topic, then hey, why not share it with your family member, friend, or person you're in a debate with? I can hear it. As well as, if you like the show, why not like? Because that's what the like, follow, and subscribe. You guys probably hear that in your sleep. Like, follow, subscribe. Listen, bitch. If I wanted to like, I would have liked it. If I wanted to subscribe, I know. Listen, but I gotta tell you. Rachel says hi. But feel free to. It helps us in the algorithm. Oh, jolly day. And then if you're on twitch.tv/Amy Newman Skeptic, well, then you get to go to our Twitch sphere and get some flair. Hair. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Beamsy. 7. Because he bought, like, a whole bunch of freaking Twitch subscriberships for people. I can't thank Beamsy enough. Though we are going to thank him 10 times, which is, I guess, enough in that proportional amount. You know what I'm talking about. Listen. James, did you know? I don't know if you know this. I may have ADD.
I've heard that before.
Once or twice.
Yeah.
Follow, subscribe. Oh, we love it when you subscribe. We sending so much love. Not only when you subscribe, do you get more of our videos in your feed, but if you hit that bell icon to all, then YouTube will actually give it. Because, if you signed up for your friend's basket weaving channel and you don't actually want content, you could subscribe, and then YouTube will give you like a video of it, 2 of it, and then it'll just stop giving you videos. But with that all button, so that bell icon to all, YouTube will be serving you up videos how you like it. Not just for ours, for any other channel that you like out there. So Sending love, and all right, we're the boo bell icon, or hey, why not let your sexuality come out? Damn it! Or hey, why not leave? We haven't heard either. Titan rebanned him, he came out, or he hasn't been around.
Who?
Hey, leaving a comment. Why is your voice been so high up there, James? You need to have a really masculine voice like me. Anyway, why not leave a comment once the video's done? I actually listen, I'm being sarcastic and I'm roasting them and teasing them, but I really want them to just come out and have a good life. Very heterosexual life. And why not head over to after the show? We head over to the Skeptic and Ranting Discord server, the link of which is in the description below, along with all of our supporters, our Patreons, our channel members, our Twitch subscribers, members of our girl deck, which, if you know what I mean, support 2 of our platforms. Which is what what else would you think it meant? And so when you're on the girl deck, that 15-foot juicy girl deck, we're just sending that love right back to you. And yes, lastly, the best way of supporting our content and getting your own unique perks. And I'm going to send it out there. We're so close, ladies and gentlemen, and getting some unique, awesome stuff for you, and then helping out the channel is by going to patreon.com/Amy Newman. With that, I am Amy Newman, and we will see you all on the next episode of Skeptic Ball Z.
Good day, everybody. It's not good night yet.
That's right. Good day.
Have a good day.